Hello, welcome everyone. What a turnout for a tram that was used as a feeding ground for farm animals. We are very fortunate to be in the position today to be launching this very historic tram. I'll give you more of an insight in how we nearly missed out on this tram shortly. My name is Paul Mong and I am the President of the Ballarat Tramway Museum. I would like to welcome everyone to this special occasion and also thank our special guests for their attendance in celebrating the launch of tram number 2. The Mayor of Ballarat, Daniel Maloney, Councillor Samantha McIntosh, Councillor Ben Taylor, the Mayor of Geelong, Trent Sullivan, CEO of Ballarat, Evan King, local member for Wendouree, Juliana Addison, COTMA executives Rod Atkins and Mel Rowe, the Shoppy family, Beth, Philip and John, and also the many guests that have travelled from other tram museums in Victoria, New South Wales and South Australia. I also would like to thank Neville Britton in organising this day. After many attempts, we have finally got here. Well done. Of course, this day wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the dedication and commitment of our member, Warrington Cameron, and his family. In restoring this tram, could you please put your hands together and acknowledge this major achievement? So how did a tram that has travelled from Adelaide to Geelong to Bellarine to Canberra to Bendigo arrive in Ballarat? When the museum adds a tram to its collection, we need to look at the significance of it and also the purpose of it. Then that is judged by a point system. Tram 2 was an interesting one to add, considering it did not operate in Ballarat. However, the following points got it over the line: the historic value of the tram, the link that Geelong had to Ballarat during the SEC operations, the detailed level of restoration done by Warrington, and the final point, after spending nearly 30 years in Canberra, we believe the tram is now climatised to operate in Ballarat. I would now like to introduce the Mayor of Ballarat, Daniel Maloney. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Paul. Welcome, everyone. I won't go through the full list necessarily of dignitaries that Paul's already done, so thanks for that. It's a huge honour to be here today to witness the unveiling of such an important part of our history, of our near neighbours in Geelong's history as well. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge we're on Wadawurrung land, pay respects to elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge that rich connection to the land and the waterways, and extend that love and respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Here today we welcome the Geelong number 2 tram to a new home with a new lease of life as part of Ballarat and the Victorian Tramway heritage, held in great respect here by the Tramway Museum of Ballarat. What a tremendous credit is to Warrington, who has put so much effort into that. And without Warrington's purchase of the number 2 tram back in 1991, he and his supporters' dedication to restoring that magnificent piece of machinery behind me, it would not be with us here today. So once again, seeing return to service, it's more of a genteel nature than the bustling streets of Geelong in the early 1900s. I'd also like to acknowledge the incredible work of everyone at the Ballarat Tramway Museum, run by volunteers. These people clearly love Ballarat. They love our history, they love our heritage, they love trams. They bring so much life and passion and energy to this museum over to the side there. So this is a great gift, and to Warrington and all those who have made this historic addition to the Ballarat Tramways Museum for making it possible, may I thank you on behalf of the City of Ballarat. I'm sure there'll be many people, young and old, who will have many questions will, as they ride this magnificent tram, they will enjoy it and create many new stories for the next generation as well. So welcome to everyone, and hope you enjoy this rich, wonderful part of Geelong and now Ballarat heritage. Thank you.
It's incredible to be here in the city of Ballarat, celebrating our Geelong Tram. Slightly disappointed to myself that I have to travel all the way to Ballarat, which is a delightful drive, to see a piece of infrastructure, a fantastic item like this, which we clearly haven't been good enough to restore, but you've done it yourselves. We appreciate you looking at this important piece of history. That's not just for us, but for the wider region of Victoria as well. Not many people in Geelong these days recognise how the tram system, the network that was built there, and how important it was. And I so dearly wish that we had have kept it. It would have solved a lot of my gridlock problems at the moment with the roads in Geelong. But it's just incredible to see the condition that these can be restored to. From what was it? A feedlot? A cow feeding something the Ballarat Peninsula was used originally for a while. To see it restored to former glory, looking even better than before, it is fantastic. Because without our heritage, we really don't have much. And it's always spectacular to come to Ballarat and just see how you take care and preserve and how proud you are of your heritage as a city, as a wider municipality. Sadly, a lot of places like Melbourne, like Geelong, we have lost a lot of our heritage through poor decisions, and it's something we're desperately trying to rectify now. So to look to Ballarat and see the great job you're doing here, it's always fantastic to visit, and always see the good work that you are doing.
I'd like to now call on Rod Atkins, Executive of COTMA. Please, welcome.
I just want to go over a few things. Firstly, I just want to talk a bit about Geelong and just fill you in with a little bit of the history first to get us to where we are today. Geelong was first settled in 1837 and local government was first set up in 1838. The town grew rapidly from 1850 with the commencement of the Victorian gold rushes, and through the 1860s and 1870s a huge manufacturing base was established, mainly centred around the wool industry and the railways. The first serious discussion about building a tramway occurred in 1888. By the late 1800s, there was a multiplicity of local councils in the area. This, together with many other interested parties and groups with vested interests together with the Victorian Railways, delayed any construction of a tramway for many years. Geelong was finally proclaimed a city in 1910, and the Melbourne Electric Supply Company Limited finally gained agreement to construct and run an electric tram which opened in 1912. The 7 single-truck trams built by Duncan and Fraser at Adelaide on English brush electric trucks opened the small system. These vehicles were unique to Geelong. The system was enlarged in the 1920s and additional trams attained to meet that requirement. The SEC took over in 1930 as part of the statewide consolidation of the Victorian power supply. Geelong grew rapidly after World War II. Additional bogie trams were obtained from Melbourne, but these were all of a similar age to the original fleet. At the peak of the system, the trams ran from the centre of Geelong and the railway station to Belmont, East, Eastern Park, Chilwell, Newtown, West, North, and prior to the 1930s, the tram service to the wharf was replaced with a short extension to the beach at Eastern Beach. An inquiry in 1955 of the system recommended it should be replaced with private buses. This was actioned on very swiftly, and the system closed in 1956 after only 44 years of operation.
Ladies and gentlemen, a special thank you for those who've come from afar, from Canberra, from Adelaide and from Geelong. If you've ever had a tram in the backyard and wondered what colour to paint it, you ask people the sort of people that Rod's just referred to. And some of them said, paint it red. And some said, we don't know actually what colour they were. So I painted it green. It's really been a team effort. That was the one executive decision what colour to paint it. But as far as a team effort's concerned, if you look at the seats in the saloon here, that's the middle part. The stands were the two types. There are two and there are 6, 8 altogether. And the two that are different were spotted by Keith Kings sometime in the 60s at a depot in Melbourne. And he collared them and took them off to violence, and somehow, through the generosity of the Tramway Museum Society of Victoria, I got those, plus the other 6 seat bases. That's the metalwork underneath. Plus, Newstead tramcars. When you try and put seats together, and you need to put 6 seats together, and they have 7 moving parts, you find that the last 2 don't work. And so Newstead tramcars came to the rescue, and Len Miller rummaged through his garage, and so they were fixed. The cushions in them came from the Tramway Museum Society of Victoria. The rattan came via the Seashore Trolley Museum in Maine. The brassware, the handles, were done by Kim Smith in Adelaide. The strips on top were made by John Radcliffe in Adelaide. The fitting was done here by Paul, thank you, who managed to craft quite a bit of metalwork, and Alistair Reither, who was good with a screwdriver and a nut tightener. And of course, we needed someone to test the seats to make sure they were comfortable. Neville Britton, thank you for that. You did it. That was joining us. And thank you for everything else too.
Thank you, Warrington. We really do appreciate this wonderful gift, and we'll look after it and cherish it for many years to come.
Hey! Oh, that was in the magazine, I think. It got that far and someone pulled the emergency brakes.
That was a good test run.
Lindsay, I'll be at the first seat up there.
I'm trying to read through your number. No, he worked on the platform. What's the name? No, he used to be mine. There's a camper rail museum in the area. There is a camper rail museum over the road. Yeah. I think it's still running. It's all that itself now. They have a lot to do with film here. Oh, do they? Yeah, they've got a garage and different things here. That was one of those places to go on. Break down. About 84. Yeah. They left it and told me for a state display. Yeah, they did. Yeah, I know it was very enough to this thing replaced. Is there something I heard on the radio that running down the metro line? So we're hoping to start one whole system or most of it 6 to 8 weeks. When do they actually do the museum? It's for children's time. Oh, okay. So, the truck that the tram around Queensland and the tram one of their trams was taken and they used to go and railways tram. So we've got 2 more trams out at the moment. So, you know, the thought of eight half, absolutely being half done. And then the triple carousel was rubbish or something. Yeah. So we thought, no, we'll just do it. Yeah. What's involved in coming up on here? Well, it doesn't come along. We're having a volunteer information for next Saturday, actually. Okay. At 10 o'clock. And we're really need more volunteers, particularly for to have some service in the museum. But we're also looking for drivers, so we don't. To be a driver, you've just got to pick up passport. And you do Yeah, better for loading, you're right. It's more easy for us.
There you go. Thanks, sir.
All good. Wait for the